Is this Mark?
Felix.
What's going on, man?
My man.
How you been?
Are you?
Been a busy
Good.
man, I see.
Yeah, I've been busy, dude. Everything's going good, though. Watched a little Monday Night Raw Super Show last night. I'm all good.
Yeah, I actually caught your interview last night. Actually, they asked a lot of the questions I was going to ask. Doggone it, I'm just going to go ahead and ask it again for those who were listening on my show. Now,
yeah, exactly.
I actually have been following.
You know what? They were more Big Brother. They were more Big Brother fans. They weren't WWE fans. So we can talk about whatever you want.
Hey, I'm game if you are. Actually, I was going to talk about the fact that you were on they mentioned it. I'll go ahead and mention that you were on the very first Road Rules, and I believe they even mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, they had said that you had actually won it. Is that right?
Yeah, I did Road Rules, and it aired in 1995, dude. How about that?
That's okay. I was 17 years old around that time, so
good.
I'm not that much younger than you, buddy.
Yeah, good. See, there you go, Felix. Doesn't make me feel bad. The one guy last night said he was 4 years old.
I know. I think about the fact that I turned 21 in 99. I'm thinking, oh, my God, where does the time go?
Yeah, hey, you know what, though, man? Good memories, though. It was all good memories. Yeah, I did the show in 95, and then it aired in 95, and then after it aired, it got picked up for a second season with a new cast, and then they re-aired the first season again. So my show, when I was in my last year of college, aired throughout the whole entire year, even in repeat. So it was pretty cool back then because it was one of the only type of reality shows besides The Real World that was on. So it was cool, man. I definitely had some good times with my friends at campus on that. That was definitely cool.
You know, I have to say, and I don't know about the 90s because it wasn't really a thing back then, but this has got to be the biggest, if anything, the reality era of reality eras. I mean, everything is reality now, from Housewives to Real World to Jersey Shore to, hell, even WWE had their Tough Enough, which I still say you could probably outshine most of them kids. You know that.
Oh, well, I always get asked that a lot. I'm always get asked even when I go to, like, WWE events. So, like, why don't you start wrestling? You know, you can, do an angle with The Miz. And I'm like, because I'm still in shape, but I'm still 40 years old. If this was 10 years ago, yeah, I'd probably put a lot of eggs in that basket. But it would be such a temporary thing for me to hop on that dream, so to speak, that if something came and happened where I could guest host or guest bash him with a chair or something like that, yeah, I'd probably really consider it. But I'm not going to take time out of my life now and go try to do Tough Enough. I just think I've passed my prime. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I understand. And, honestly, if Snooki can main event WrestleMania, why the hell can't you?
Exactly. So I'm
just saying. I mean, that's on you and with them. But, I mean, if she can do it, I know you can do it.
Exactly. Hey, you know what's funny is Snooki has, like, some acrobatic moves.
I did see that. I don't know if did you catch WrestleMania?
That? Yeah, like she did like a full like back handspring, but like you could tell like there was some technique there. I actually gained a little more respect for Snooki when she did that. I thought she was just going to come on there and be mouthy and maybe do like a Mike Tyson gag, like a one punch thing, but she actually like flopped around the ring pretty good there. I was impressed. But yeah, I know what you're saying about reality. The only shows I watch now are reality shows. I really don't watch that many scripted shows. I watch wrestling, which, like you said, is pretty much like a reality show. I watch some of the competition shows, like I watch Big Brother and MTV. I just got finished watching Rivals, but and Jersey Shore. It seems like I make sure to watch those type of shows every week. So it's kind of funny how it's taken over.
And I have to give you the moniker. I mean, we gave Derek the moniker, and I believe it was either you and Kenny or I can't remember who it was, but they gave Derek the moniker of he's calling him the HBK of the challenges. Then, if that's the case, maybe I should give you the Bret Hart moniker. Call you the Bret Hart of the challenges.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'll take the Bret Hart, dude. I'll take the Bret. I hope that Derek and I can go back for one more challenge. We'll actually play that up on TV, dude. You watch. If we go back, I'll have him play that up with me.
Are you kidding, man? I've been watching you guys on the challenges since the beginning when it was Battle of the Sexes.
That's
and I've been watching
those are
ever
the good
since.
old
The
days,
challenges,
man.
to me, have been more awesome than the actual Real Worlds. I haven't really watched the actual Real World since, I believe it was the original San Diego cast with Brad and what is her name?
Brad, Cameron, and Robin. And Jamie, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I actually got into watching that, and I think I even caught a little bit of the season with Wes, but he's such a douche. But anyways, you didn't hear me say that.
Well, I think what people like about the challenges is there's so much animosity on the challenges, and there's so much cutthroat and backstabbing that I think people get into it faster than sitting through a whole Real World season and trying to really relate with the characters. You know what I mean?
Now, I did see.
You
awesome. Mentioned that Rivals this season was probably one of their most popular seasons so far. Is that true?
Yeah, Rivals was rated one of the highest in years. So that's why MTV just released in Buenos Aires that it got picked up for another season. Not the Rivals, just the challenge in general. So the challenge is coming out definitely one more time at least, and hopefully with a format that people will love. I'm hoping maybe they do like a dual 3, because I feel like it's super competitive and it's not really team related, and I think the cast and the audience like it. Now,
I have to agree with the comment that you made yesterday as well, is bringing back some of the old school players like Coral. Now, that girl was a bad bitch. And no, she's not a bitch, but she was bad. She was bad.
Yeah, she's great TV. Like, there's a lot of I feel like with a lot of these past few challenges, it's kind of been like the same talent pool, just kind of mixed around in different formats. And I've been getting a lot of Twitter people twittering me saying, they wish there was some new faces, even some veterans. So, yeah, I mean, I know a few just offhand that would jump back on the challenge, and I think it would be a new, kind of a new twist to see some new faces rather than, like I said yesterday, not that, I'm a huge Kenny fan. I'm a good friend of him, but, like, it always seems to be like the Kenny and West battle or the new kids versus the new kids. So it's just, it would be nice to see some of the old schoolers mixed in with some of the new school. It'd be kind of a different format, I think.
Hey, I'm pulling for you, man. You always seem to have a way of, you got, that's why I said you have the smart, you have the technique, you have the way to keep it going all the way to the end. Hell, I think you even won a few challenges, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I got a horrible memory. I'm pretty sure you did.
Luck, man. I've said this, my claim to fame. I've never came home from a challenge unless I've volunteered myself, and I did that one time when I let Eric Neese go to the finals the last day. So I've been to the finals every time I went, dude, and it's never been sent home, never lost.
For Eric Neese.
Yeah, right?
I remember him. He was pretty big back in the 90s. I know that.
Oh, he was huge. Eric Neese was like, I'm trying to think. Eric Neese was like an early Ryan Seacrest type of figure. I mean, he was a host on MTV and was
everywhere.
Doing well.
He was everywhere.
He's now, this is what he does now. You'll find it interesting. He travels around the world and he detoxes people who have like drug and alcohol addiction. So he actually detoxes them, lives with them, and puts them on a program and actually gets them off drugs and alcohol, which is pretty cool.
I actually did see him on a show a couple of years ago. I think he did it with
VH1 show?
Say that again?
Was it the VH1 show?
That's the one. And I was like, wow, he's a whole new person now than he was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's like the holistic healer now, dude. Eric Neese is no more grind. He's the holistic healer.
Hey, more power to him. If it works for him, I'd say go for it,
He's still great.
Keep in touch with him?
Yeah, I keep in touch with him all the time. He's a Gemini like I'm a Gemini, and we really bonded way back in the day. He and I hosted a challenge called Battle of the Seasons. So he and I were actually the co-hosts, and we became super close. He's met my family, vice versa. We've been through the ringer. We took a tour. We lived together for 4 months every day, 24 hours a day. So, like, you really get to know someone in that amount of time, and he's a great guy. I love Eric.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's very down to earth, and that's one thing I actually wanted to mention to my listeners tonight. That's actually how I got to start talking to you, because of the fact I've seen the kind of person that you are on TV, and I took a chance. I was like, hey, how you doing, Mark? Big fan, whatever. And we started chatting, and then I realized you were a fan of wrestling, and we've been chatting ever since.
Yeah, I remember
you really are, and for those listening, he really is one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever meet.
Oh, thank you, brother. I remember getting a tweet from you talking about wrestling or The Miz or something, and I was like, yeah, this is, I try to answer a lot of people on Twitter. Some people don't, but I mean, I consider myself a normal cat, so like I put myself in their shoes, and if I asked a question that I, was interested in, I'd want someone to give me a response. But trust me, I'll shoot Twitter questions to celebrities myself, or like people that I know or watch, and hoping to get a response. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love that you follow The Miz and all the wrestling peeps. It's a good show over there on WWE.
Hey, Mark. Hey, hang out with me for just a moment. I'm going to take a quick break. Okay?
Okay, go for it.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're chatting with Mark Long from MTV Real World. I definitely call him the man, the myth, the legend. Let's talk again with Mark Long.
I love how the cast members now call me the Godfather.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, like Kenny and Derek and Paula, they all call me the Godfather. I'm like, Godfather makes me sound old. I'm like, call me like...
No, I mean, you know what, though? You're only as old as you feel, and to be honest with you, Godfather is pretty badass, so I would take that as a big-time compliment.
All right, maybe I'll take that. Maybe I'll take the Godfather. That's cool. I'll take it now that you said that.
Well, honestly, as I said, you and I have to agree with the guys, you don't look your age, dude. You really... Hell, you look younger than I do. I look older than you,
dude,
and I'm only 33.
Do you know what's
up?
Hilarious, Felix, is every spring I host these MTV pool party tours. I've been doing it for years now, and I'm the host, and we'll bring in some cast members from MTV, whether it's Real World Road Rules, or I've even done some with the Jersey Shore Cats, but it's always at colleges. So even last year, we did it through March and April, traveled around to like 17 schools, and I'll be at the school doing my thing, and no one even guesses my age. They all think like I'm like 28 or 29, but there'll be that one older cat, just one, that'll come up to me and whisper in my ear. They'll be like, "Dude, how old are you for real?" And I'm just like, I'm like, "Don't worry about it, dude. Don't blow my spot up." I'm like, I'm old, but I'm still doing my thing. So it's kind of funny because a lot of people still think I'm like late 20s, but yeah, dude, just turned 40 June 2nd.
Wow.
40.
Well, happy late birthday, buddy.
Old. Thank you, brother.
Oh, shit, that ain't old, man. You're only as old as you feel. 40 is the new 20 nowadays, man.
Think about it, Felix. Think about when you were 13, 14 years old, and you thought of when you were going to be 40, you probably thought, damn, that's going to be old. So, but now that I am 40, I still feel like I'm 25. Like I go to the gym every day. I work out every day.
I bet you got more energy than half the 40-year-olds that you know, probably.
You're probably right, dude. So I'm looking forward to, if they do one more challenge, I've already jockeyed up my position to try to go back on one last time. But this will be it. Like Derek and I did like a gag, and I've kind of fake retired before. But like if I did go back, this will be the finale one, the last time you see me on MTV. So it would be cool, and I think it would be a good angle to use and a good storyline to see if the 40-year-old old lion can beat up on the young fucking tigers. So we'll see.
Honestly, if they do that, then maybe they should do some kind of special Hall of Fame and put Eric Nies and put in maybe Derek
right.
in the MTV Real World Hall of Fame, the Challenge Hall of Fame.
They should. Like the UFC retires fighters. I should be like the Chuck Liddell of challenges and get retired.
There you go. Hey, if WWE can do it, why can't you?
Exactly. I'll be like Ric Flair.
Hey, woo! There you go.
Hey, what is with all these old WWE guys going and wrestling in Orlando? What do they wrestle? What is it, TNA?
Well, I guess they like to be referred to as Impact Wrestling, but
yeah,
some
Impact.
of them, I think the issue is they spend really horribly when they're in their prime, and they're paying for it now as they're In Ric Flair's case, he's over 60 and is in an enormous amount of debt, and that's just a shame because, hell, the man's a legend, you know.
And you know what else I heard too is I heard they do the Impact because it's in Orlando and they don't have to travel like the WWE travels so much.
Yes, that's what makes it a lot easier for some of the superstars, I guess.
I didn't know Ric Flair was in debt. Is he in debt? He's spending too much, huh, throughout the years?
Well, I think during the 80s when he was, in his big-time prime and traveling with the Four Horsemen, he was spending all the time, big spender, jets, limousines. That's where he kind of coined the phrase, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing son of a gun,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't even get me started, man. I could tell you stories about all the things I've seen on wrestling so far. So then again, you probably could tell me a few.
Hey, but here's the deal, dude. What's with it seems like WWE's kind of like giving The Miz kind of the cold shoulder lately with just kind of giving him like crappy storyline. I don't like it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that because, hell, he main evented WrestleMania with Cena, and the match wasn't that good. It was really planned horribly, the ending anyway.
Right.
Miz actually did win it. He did beat Cena. Fair and square, actually, with the help of The Rock, but, I mean, he beat him.
Yeah, so,
and
like,
you see anywhere you see Miz, you see him everywhere. I mean, now, especially, he was doing the Rivals, and I think that definitely, or the After Show, and that, I'm pretty sure that gained a lot of viewers.
Oh, I'm sure, but I hope he gets a better storyline soon. I think he deserves it. He's a great character and he's a great heel. I mean, you love to hate him.
Oh, I get a kick out of him. He's a character you love to hate, but he does it so good. He does it so well. Yeah,
we were at his. A lot of people don't know this. The Miz lives one block from me. Like, I live in Hollywood. He lives one block over. So I see him and his girlfriend. How do you say his girlfriend's name?
Maris,
yeah. I see him and Maris. Yeah. I see them all the time. They go to the gym on the corner, so they're always walking, back and forth. But I went over to the Miz house right before the SummerSlam pre-party. So him and he invited a bunch of people over, just like friends, outside of wrestling as well as wrestling, over to his condo. Yeah. So we got to hang out, and I got to meet the Miz's dad. It was his first time in L.A., so it was really cool. But it was such a cast of characters, man, at his place.
Now, I got to ask you, since we were talking briefly about reality, how do you feel about what they're doing with CM Punk?
How do I feel about what? Say that again, Felix.
The CM Punk issue, how they're basically letting him run with the ball and kind of say whatever's on his mind? Yeah,
well, I know from a viewing standpoint, and just from even being at the pre-party for SummerSlam, he's getting a lot of street cred for that, and I think the true wrestling fans are appreciating that he's kind of breaking that fourth wall and speaking his mind, but he's got to walk a real fine line, I think, because he can't overstep his boundaries too much, but I think I love
now
what
more
he's
than
doing.
Ever.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's great, but I hope he doesn't cross it too far where it would piss Vince off and have him do something and, have him do a break or even release him for that matter. But CM Punk, I used to not like CM Punk, and he's grown on me probably over the past 2 years.
Yeah, he's definitely improved a lot more than I would say. I think with the issue, and I think I told a friend about this, it reminded me a lot of when they try to mold their characters into a certain way rather than just letting them be themselves. If you just let them be themselves and run with it, look at Stone Cold. I mean, they try to make him the ringmaster, and and afterwards they just let him be himself. And hell, he tore the house down night after night in the 90s.
Because if you think about it, I mean, even in their characters that they play, there's a little bit of their character even in the characters they play. Look at The Rock. I mean, The Rock is part of him is The Rock. Even look at The Miz. I mean, part of The Miz is The Miz. You got to let them be who they are. If you try to mold them too much, I think they're going to. I think they do rebel a little bit, kind of get pissed off. Because I mean, come on, the straight edge society. It was like, come on, dude. That storyline was like, yeah, with the shaved head girl coming in. It's like, You remember what's the guy that was in Straight Edge that used to be Festus? He shaved his head and grew the goatee.
Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows. I watched a documentary on independent wrestling the other day.
I saw that too. That was on Discovery, I believe.
Yeah, he was in it. Did you see him?
I did.
Luke
I saw
Gallows
Jim
was
Cornette
in it,
too.
So what? Yeah, Jim Cornette's freaking. He's been in the game for a while. But what did Luke Gallows get released from the WWE?
Yeah, him and the Mall Chick got released. Quite a number of them got released over the last several months. And speaking of that, I actually wanted to bring up a couple things too. Do you remember Charlie Haas?
Yeah, I remember Charlie Haas.
I actually had him on the show last week.
Oh, nice. What's up with him now?
Him and Shelton Benjamin are actually in Ring of Honor, where Jim Cornette's he's helping run the company over there, and they're actually coming to TV real soon.
Okay, good, because I remember watching that, and I never really. It was just surprising to me seeing Luke Gallows in that independent wrestling league. It was like, it's such a step backwards. You know what I mean? I bet you it would be such an ego blow, I think, to some of these guys. You saw the one guy in the documentary who was signed to a development deal and then, didn't make it. But then he did really well in the Ring of Honor audition, though. That bigger guy with the dark hair.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah.
He actually did. His character was good.
Yeah, I hope he makes. I'm telling you what, though, Felix. If I go back, dude, this is what I'm going to do because I don't give a fuck anymore. If I go back and do one more, MTV challenge, I'm gonna act like all my interviews are a WWE promo. I've already decided. Like, I'm not even gonna answer anything like Mark. I'm gonna answer it like I'm playing a WWE character, and I'm gonna bring a little fun back in the show. I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait either, man. Hell, I've been a fan of the show for years, and if you do that, hell, I think I may just have to tweet you about it all the time. Shit.
I'd love it, dude.
I may give you some ideas of characters to play,
Good.
Maybe the Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, or something.
I'll just be a different WWE legend every time I'm in my thing. I even try to bring some gags and some costumes, man.
Hey, did you? I seen that you had taken pictures with Triple H last year. He seems like a pretty nice guy. What was he like?
He's cool. You know what the thing about Triple H is, and also about Sheamus. They're kind of similar because the real big dudes like Triple H is like, he's not super tall. He's just wide as hell, and his head is like the size of a fucking bull. You know what I mean? So. But he has a security guy with him, even at the party. So, like, the security guy's in a suit standing by him. But you go up and ask him for a picture, and, this real hardcore exterior just melts into being a super cool guy. And he's like, sure, let's take a picture. And he actually took pictures with me this time and last year, and took pictures with I brought a couple friends this year. Took pictures with all my friends, talked a little wrestling. And then Sheamus was super cool too. Sheamus kind of has this like standoffish personality and kind of like facade. He was super cool, and I went up to him this year again. He's like, "Oh, you're the Mrs. friend," and I'm like, "Yeah." And he was super cool. But that party was so great, and all the divas were there. We had a great time, man.
Yes, and I even reminded you how they had a very short clip of you dancing with, I believe it was the Bellas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I was a dancer from there filming. Yeah.
That's what I thought. You lucky guy, you.
It's fantastic. Then I think I drugged Kelly's mom out on the dance floor one time.
I saw you guys tweeting about that. That was pretty funny. She seems like a sweet person. She really does. They give her so much crap.
They all were. Do they really, like in the wrestling world, did they give her a bunch of shit all the time?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they did the Barbie doll type character, and that she can't wrestle and kind of thing, and she really tries hard. She's really improved over the years.
They all were super nice, and I always have fun going to that party because I'm like you, dude. I'm a true fan. I mean, I go with Mike, and I love watching Mike. I love hanging out with Mike before the party as just Mike. Like, I talked to him about Mike. I actually got my client Keenan Cahill. We shot the video together, and like it was great. But like I
saw that, man. I was laughing so hard. That was so cool. I liked it. Very good.
Wasn't it great? It was so great.
It was.
One take. We did one take on that. It was funny. But then I love going to that event with them and then watching them, be the Miz for a little while, dude. Because it's I have so much respect for him because he's stuck to a plan and he is rewarded for it. I love that. But he appreciates that I still watch too, which is great.
It's one thing about the Miz that I know most people really don't give him a lot of credit for. He takes a lot of shit. He takes a lot of shit from people because of the fact that he plays a character that he plays it, to the T. He plays it so good. And people just give him so much shit for the fact that he's such a bad guy, but in reality he's really not. He's really not a bad guy.
No. He's not a bad guy at all, man. He's one of the guys, if I had a real problem late at night, I could probably call up and he'd probably come over if he was in town. I mean, he's that kind of guy. And we've had some great times out, outside of wrestling and outside of MTV, just going out and partying and having a good time. And it's funny, man. It's I know he gets a lot of shit, but he's a good guy.
Now, I remember you had said something early. We had chatted about it earlier about, you're doing a stint in WWE. Now, you don't necessarily have to be a wrestler. Well, maybe doing some kind of, Johnny Knoxville, for God's sake, was in a WWE ring, and he was taking bumps with them. You could probably even pass off as a manager. They need to bring managers back anyway, by the way.
You know what? That's a very good idea. In fact, that's something to look into because, as you know, I'm not afraid to grab the microphone and talk. So I feel
some of these guys need people to talk. Trust me, they really do. They suck at talking, but they're better in the ring.
You know what we should do? You know what, Felix? You know what would be a great angle for them is to have me come on as a manager and managing almost like my protege to destroy the reality star known as The Miz. Like, that would be a good angle to play. Good versus
why not?
evil.
Yeah.
Because I would love to go toe-to-toe with The Miz on the mic and just do work. It'd be hilarious.
Hey, Miz is pretty funny with it. He gets the crowds. What's that?
I said, maybe I got to float that around the next time with my WWE peeps.
Well, he gets the crowd going with his, really, really, really.
It's great. It's great.
He's almost
dude.
as good as Austin and his what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I
actually wanted to bring your attention something else as well that I don't know 100% sure. I'm going to find out tomorrow when I speak to him. But tomorrow, I'm actually going to be talking with former WWE writer Christopher DeJoseph, who actually has worked on Big Brother.
Oh, nice.
And
now,
I don't know if you remember, you might have seen him on TV.
Was he on Big Brother?
No, he actually was one of the producers, casting directors or something to that extent.
Gotcha.
And you might have seen him. Do you remember a character that would come out in some of the most outlandish type scenes and dressed up like Baby New Year, and I think they called him Big Dick Johnson?
I'd have to see him, dude, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he came out in some of the craziest type things, and just for the sake of entertaining the fans, hey, that's cool. And Jim Ross has even done that,
That's funny. Yeah, tell him that's another show I've always wanted to be on, Big Brother. You know that.
I'll definitely be sure to mention that to him because he was a really nice guy too. He left WWE and he's working on different shows, like obviously with Big Brother and a couple other reality shows that are on right now, or at least we're on. I don't know for sure, but yeah, I'll pass that along to him. I thought that would be funny to mention that because of the fact that you're such a fan of the show. And honestly, I'll tell you this much, I don't watch Big Brother, but I'll tell you this: if you get on there, I will watch it.
We'll watch.
Good. I got your back, man.
Felix, one of the reasons it's 3 times a week on primetime network television. How could you not want to get on that? You know what I mean?
I don't blame you, man.
Hey, if you ever bored, Felix, YouTube Mark Long Big Brother and watch when I did we did like an entertainment reporter version here in LA. I won every competition they had within the 24 hours. I came to play, dude. I was Mike's entrance music. I came to play.
There you go. That's a good one.
Shit. Yep.
But growing up, I actually wanted to ask you, since we were chatting here about wrestling, who was some of your heroes growing up as a kid? I mean, you obviously watched in the 90s during the Attitude Era and even some of the 80s.
I remember getting in my dad's light blue Chevy big pickup truck with like 5 of my friends, driving over this bridge to like this rec center and watching like Dusty Rhodes. Or like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
Or George the Animal Steel. Do you remember those guys?
I sure do. I really do.
Yeah. So like I remember those guys, and I was even able to watch when like Hulk Hogan was in his prime. It was like crazy shit like that.
Was it the 80s or the 90s though?
That was probably when I watched him. That was probably mid 80s, probably late 80s. I would say going to watch him, but yeah, like all those guys. But Dusty Rhodes was always my favorite dude. The American Dream. He was great, but I don't know. I remember getting like. A lot of the wrestlers sometimes used to wear the masks back in the day just to hide their identity. I remember ordering masks out of the magazine, and me and my brother putting them on and doing fake matches out in the backyard and just crazy stuff. But it was good times, dude. I had a really good family upbringing, so it's like all those things like make me laugh and smile when I look back at them, because me and my brother, thank God we didn't break our necks, because we went completely nuts, jumping off furniture, bashing each other with chairs. It was hilarious.
Now, I got to ask you, and you remember the 90s probably almost as good as I do, probably even better. I don't know, because you actually definitely seen a lot more things than I did growing up. But the 90s, now, as far as MTV goes, how do you feel the fact that it's not so much about the music anymore, where it used to be?
I don't know, because I don't know about that. I mean, if they didn't play videos on like MTV2 or some of the other networks, then like I feel like it kind of was like shortchanging the viewer. But I feel that there is an outlet for that. It's just the main MTV now, they've shifted so much away from that I mean, there's no reversing that. It's not like all of a sudden in 3 years there's going to be music videos back on MTV. It's all now about original programming. It's all now about, the Teen Mom, the Jersey Shore, the whatnot. So,
and that's another thing right there, Mark, I wanted to mention to you. The Teen Mom thing, that is just, I'm sorry, that's just
horrible.
Sad. It's sad because
I'm not a big fan.
No, go ahead.
I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I'm really close with Lauren Dolgen, who was the show concept that created it. I think it had good intentions, but you don't know what's going to happen when you're a parent at that age. And I mean, sometimes the message is horrible. And like, even outside of the show, you see these cats popping up getting arrested. And like, I just don't see how that is a good role model for kids,
I mean, back when we were young, young kids, I mean, teen pregnancy, you get your ass whooped if you were in, you found out you're going to be a mother or a father. Nowadays, you're promoting it.
Well, they're showing that. Not even that they're promoting it; they're just showing it that like they're showing it almost like it's acceptable, which is even more shameful than promoting. Yeah, it's like, yes, if it happened or if it was an accident or whatever, I'm sure I would want the kids to step up and be parents and have help from their parents as well. But I don't think making teen pregnancy accepting to people is a good, like, role model type situation to throw out there. I just don't.
No, actually,
Call me old-fashioned.
No, I understand. I trust me. I feel like I'm old-fashioned myself because, it's funny because let me tell you a quick story here. 2 things. Number one, after I left SummerSlam, I was walking, and I had a mother and her son walking in front of me, and the son was kind of asking his mom, and then kind of looked back at me and said, "Who is that guy that attacked CM Punk?" I was like, "Oh, really?" To quote The Miz, "Really? Really?
Right.
You don't know Kevin Nash? Come on, dude."
Right.
And it's sad because these kids don't know these guys. I mean, these guys were like it back in the 90s, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
And I asked somebody really quick, I asked somebody about some of the scariest movies that I'd seen growing up as a kid. And I shit you not, man, they did not know what Poltergeist was. They did not know what Pet Sematary was. It's like, what's Pet Sematary? I was like, oh my God, I'm really starting to feel my age.
Wasn't it? That was a creepy movie.
Yes, it was. Both of them were.
Great.
Hell, Poltergeist was first, second, and third was creepy.
I don't even know if it probably was late 90s or middle to late 90s. And it wasn't even scary like horror scary, but it was scary like thriller scary. I remember seeing Silence of the Lambs in the theater, leaving there thinking that was like one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. I was like scared for like 2 days after I watched that.
Watching that now though, it's probably one of his best performances he's done. Anthony Hopkins,
great.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep, great, dude. It was great. Meanwhile, for the people and the kids our age, in the background on mute, I have Superbad.
I'm actually watching that too.
Yeah, on FX. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny movie. Jonah Hill's classic. I like it.
Dude, Jonah Hill is great. I actually went to this premiere in Hollywood and met him. He was super funny and cool. It was hilarious.
I've heard that. Now I was going to ask you, out of all of the people that you've met over the years and your time with MTV, who has been the person that's kind of just, as soon as you seen them, you were like, I mean, you were tripping over your words. You couldn't even talk because you were in such awe of that person.
Oh shit! Let me think of that. Crap. Well,
gotcha.
I'll give you two stories. Two stories. Do you remember Gwen Stefani?
I do.
Do you remember how popular she was, like late 90s? She was super popular and super cool, and like everyone loved her. Well, I thought she was super cool too. So after one of the challenges, I think it was in like one of the very first challenges, like 99, I went to the VMAs and I went down to my seat and I sat down and I saw Gwen Stefani, and she had like completely dyed pink hair. I'm like, oh, cool, that's Gwen Stefani. I'm like, I wonder where she's sitting. Dude, she came up and her seat was right beside me to the right. So I spent the next 2 hours chatting it up and watching the VMAs with Gwen Stefani and like talking to her like I was talking to like a buddy. Like she was telling me who she thought was cute, and I was like telling her who I thought was hot that walked by. Like it was like sitting there with like a high school girlfriend. It was hilarious. That's cool. One story. Then the person who I met recently that I, this kid Keenan that I represent, we go over and shoot videos with a lot of people. But the one cat who was the coolest, the nicest, and I think is a reason why he's so popular right now and still is we went to the Palms Casino, and DJ Pauly D was there. We're going to shoot a video with him. We went up to his suite, and he did a video with Pauly and Keenan. Pauly couldn't have been nicer. He got Keenan's cell phone number. They text each other still to this day. Pauly's a huge Keenan fan and vice versa. And then at night there at the Palms at dinner, Pauly and Vinny, who's another one who was awesome, actually brought Keenan's birthday cake out to the table. So it was just fucking cool. It wasn't that he didn't have to do it, but he did it. And those guys, like, forever will be, like, cool in my book.
Oh, no doubt. I've always been a fan of Pauly D and Vinny, but you know what? I'm actually going to start to wrap down the show because we're running low on time. Mark, I want to thank you so much for taking time to do this. You really did make my day doing it because you really are an awesome guy, and you prove it by just taking time just to chat. I mean, chat about what's going on in life, what you like, what you don't like, and that's what makes people like you so much. You're really down to earth, dude, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Hardest working man in MTV, I have to say.
Oh, cool, man. Well, thank you for having me. And, yeah, let's keep in touch on Twitter, Felix.
Not a problem, man. You take it easy and have a good night, man.
All right, brother. See you, man.
Bye-bye.